The next set of special circumstances that you'll find as concerns focusing will be focusing for location portraits. In other words, shooting pictures of people outdoors, especially close-up pictures of people outdoors. Usually, the main thing you want to remember is to keep the depth of field shallow. The idea being, and I think you got that from some of the earlier things we showed you, you want to keep the focus on the face and keep the background as blurred as possible. Here's a very good example of that. You really get that this is not a picture of the landscape. The next thing to remember is that you're shooting portraits and you want to be able to capture the exact expression of the moment that you set out to capture. You want to get that exact expression in the eye. You want the eyes to be wide open, just so much of a smile, the wind blowing the hair and that sort of thing. So be sure that you use a high enough shutter speed to get all of that. Here's a perfect example of that sort of thing. It's not the highest shutter speed we could have used. Notice the blur in the model's hand, but it was fast enough to catch this very spontaneous motion where she sort of laughed at a joke that I told and her head bobbed off a camera, and that actually even made the picture that much more dynamic. But the background is out of focus. And as was the case in the last picture you saw, it's usually a good idea to crop tight so that you're really concentrating on the face that you're taking a picture of and not distracted by other elements. It doesn't always have to be this tight, but very often cropping extremely close just makes the picture that much more dramatic because it's that much more unusual.